Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, everybody. How are you today? How are you today, baby sass?
Meh.
Listen, get excited. Well, maybe not this podcast. You're right. Maybe not get excited. But if you want to get excited, tune into our other segment on Beyond the Gates. That's going to be good. This General Hospital segment that we're doing today.
It's going to be a little... It's going to be a little meh. Because even though we are starting May Sweeps and it's kind of ramping up a little bit, it was a little bit of a meh week. There was only a few things that really had us like, okay, what?
Right at the moment, I can only shake my head. I'm like, if this was the lead in to May Sweeps, I think y'all missed the mark.
A little bit. You put emphasis on the wrong parts this week.
I think so.
And the emphasis was put in the middle of the week rather than the end. Like it was such a letdown.
And honestly, if you're gonna do stuff like this, it's no wonder you're trailing behind Beyond the Gates. Like, I'm just gonna say this: I got my payoff in Beyond the Gates this week for the storyline I was following.
Yes,
but now I'm prepared to follow it to see the fallout of that payoff. Yeah. So I'm sorry. Now my mood has dropped because I forgot we were doing General Hospital. I was so excited. And I was like, oh, right. Okay, but you never know. Maybe it'll pick up. So welcome. I mean, because now you're going to tune out. Don't tune out. Stick around. Stay for the 45 minutes. Stay for the conversation. Stay for the jokes. There was jokes. This is episode 17 for the week of April 28th to May 2nd. The lead in to May Sweeps, and I'm going to try to keep this exciting and interesting for you, listeners. I'm doing this for you, not for me, for you.
That's a little bit of a...
I know. It's overhype.
Well, there's that, but also technically we are doing this for us because, well...
Yeah, it's good practice. But I'm going to tell you what. I ran into a fan today. I hooked up. Oops. Nope.
Connected. Thank you. Thank you.
With somebody I didn't realize was a fan, and they said that even though they don't watch the show, the banter between the two of us is so hilarious, and that's why they continue to tune in, which just did my heart good. So thank you. You know who you are. I really appreciated the feedback. So why don't we get to it?
Go on.
Okay, we're gonna try to make it make sense. So maybe that's the theme of this podcast. Make it make sense. Because, okay, this week we started off with Crazy Chrissy.
Yes.
She and Molly went to confront Alexis about the committal papers. They are like, what are you doing? How dare you? You didn't even speak to me. And Christina is completely clueless, even though Alexis is dropping very broad hints that she is very aware of what Christina has done. Christina is all in her feelings and doesn't catch them.
And thing is, Alexis is only keeping it vague because Molly is there and she's trying to get Molly to leave, but Molly will not leave. So she's like, how do I tell my child that I know she tried to kill her sister's father without telling her that I know she tried to kill her sister's father with her sister being in the room?
Right.
Christina was not picking up the hits and Alexis was laying down, and I'm like, this girl is really just stupid.
Right. So Christina leaves there in a huff, goes to the baby's gravesite. Molly gives Alexis a little bit more what for. Molly goes to find Christina and does find her at the gravesite, and they're like, sisters for life.
Yeah, I hope you remember those words.
Right. A storyline that I didn't really follow, but I think it was maybe just to get them in the club, was there was a girls' night with Anna, Felicia, and Jordan.
That fell through.
It didn't really work out.
That fell through. We'll move on. That just fell through.
Only Jordan was still in the club by the end of it, I think.
Yes.
Which the club becomes important a little bit later. The club being the Savoy. Sonny has gone to LA to get his surgery.
It was a success.
The surgery is a success. Sonny is going to live. Yay. He's going to live. Barely. Because...
Not 2 seconds.
You know, here's a surprise to nobody. Somebody sent an assassin. She was pretty, though. Sent an assassin. She went to inject...
Whatever.
Digitalis?
Highly doubt it. But
she went to inject something into Sonny's IV line. Sonny rolled over, saw her, but you know that stupid look you get on your face when you're woken up unexpectedly,
And
like
you
by
just,
the kids running into the room or something.
and you just have a look of,
And
what
you're
are you
just
doing?
confused as you see them standing over you like, Daddy, breakfast!
It's like, it was a confused and also like, who are you and what are you doing? Like
You know, but he knows he was drugged, whatever.
it's
then,
that look of, you look awake, but you're not awake.
Yeah.
You're not aware,
He was just
but it looks like
dazed.
you're fully awake, and you're just like, what the?
He was just dazed. And she smiled at him. I guess he felt reassured. He rolled over and went back to sleep.
Yep.
Where he had wonderful dreams about Mike. So I will come back to the dreams about Mike. But, well, no, I guess I can cover it. Basically, he and Mike were talking about how Sonny wants to get out of the business, and Mike was like, yeah, you should.
Basically.
Cool. So Madam is standing over Sonny, beg your pardon. Standing over Sonny, ready to inject mysterious substance into the IV. In comes Brick. Brick's like, I need to see some ID, please.
She's like, sure.
She turns around, reaches for a gun, and Brick, smooth as anything, pulls a gun out from behind the back of his leg, pop! With a beautiful silencer, my girl drops on Sonny, who's dead asleep in the bed. I was just like, oh.
We will dig more into that after, because I was going to say something. I'm like,
Yeah,
no,
we
wait.
will. Brick makes a call, basically clean up on all four. But what he said was, we have a body you'll be interested in. Cool. Carly comes in, sees the body. She's like, what happened here?
Brick gives the explanation.
Yeah, and she's like, oh my gosh. Anyway, so that's fine. It turns out the person that Brick called was the WSB, and Jack shows up. Okay.
Surprise, surprise.
So Jack takes care of that. Jason comes in from
Home.
Thank you. I was like, where do they live again? Jason comes in from Port Charles. They send Carly home. She goes home with Jack, and Sonny fills Jason in about his dream talk with Mike about getting out of the business. Kai Taylor.
The storyline we don't care about.
Kai Taylor is going ahead with the surgery.
Yay.
For real.
No shade to Kai. His storyline's not interesting.
Kai seems to feel obligated to do the documentary that Drew put him up to.
Even after the events of certain events.
Don't jump ahead.
That's why I kept it vague.
Yeah, Kai really doesn't seem enthralled with the idea of doing the documentary, but, after all Drew was doing for him, how could he say no? Trina,
easily.
Trina is a little bit arm-twisted into participating in the documentary as well. She signs a release form, but we discover, when they go to interview her later, that, she that no you want to say without saying no? And her girls are with her, Emma and Joss, and they can see she want to say no. And so they do what we do as girls. We're not leaving. And it's like, okay, so we'll get you to sign a release. No, I don't want to be on camera. And Emma's talking about, you got to talk to my agent. Excuse me. So the cameraman leaves. And then Trina's like, oh, thank you. I really didn't want to do that. Why didn't you just say no?
Yeah, why did you sign the release? Also, nope, I'll save that for after.
Okay. So we move along to Joss WSB tactics and her whole mission of getting closer to Dalton and getting to be his teaching assistant or research assistant, whatever it is. They Vaughn puts a little more pressure on Joss to get the information. Joss ends up seeing Dalton, and I may have skipped over something actually. When they're at the hospital, Joss realizes that Emma is still working on whatever the submission is that they have to give to the professor. Joss is trying to figure out how she can sabotage Emma and get in herself. Emma puts a flash drive in her pocket. That's her project. She's determined to make good on this opportunity. So Joss asks Vaughn for help to get this flash drive off of
Emma.
But anyway, I don't remember the sequence of things. The week was so dry, everything's bundling together in my head. So Joss is at the club, the Savoy. She sees Dalton. Dalton is talking to Anna, which she ultimately ends up reporting back to Vaughn later in the week. We have the Esplanade.
Hold up.
Oh,
there's a little bit more. There's a little bit more on the Dalton side.
Oh, I did skip quite ahead. I'm so sorry.
Yes. So, quickly, what Mom skipped over. So Anna and Dalton are talking. Seems to be a little flirty, but ends up leaving. No numbers exchange. Yada yada yada. Joss talks to Dalton. He's basically like, "Look, you seem like a great person. You seem very studious and all that, but I don't think you're gonna get into the position for my assistant. But good luck to you." I'm like, this man is very biased. But anyway, then later, Anna meets up with Emma at the coffee shop and lets Emma know that she ran into the professor and that they were chatting it up, and how she found it to be quite a coincidence that he previously worked in the Bay Area, and then he just so happened to transfer over to PCU, and Emma's taking his class, in which Emma's like, okay, look, yes, he taught at my last school. Yes, I wanted to get into his class, but it was very competitive. So when I saw he was here, I jumped at the chance and I got in. That is it. That is all. And that is all on the Dalton.
Oh, okay. Cool. With the Esplanade story, Tracy's trying to convince Gio to register to vote in Port Charles so he can support Laura, but also vote against Sonny maintaining the pier. Gio is not at all happy because that's his Uncle Sonny who's done everything for him. They have words, or they exchange words. He calls Emma for backative because he knows that Tracy owes Emma a favor. Tracy's like, I acknowledge I do owe you a favor. I'm sorry to say this is not going to be it. Jason comes in when Tracy's saying, listen, your Uncle Sonny, like, I'm glad you love him, but he's good for nothing. Why don't you ask Jason? Jason doesn't want to say at first what the issue is, but then Jason does eventually explain to Gio that Sonny did kill AJ. And Gio's stunned. He's like, that can't be true. And it's like, well, according to Sonny, he was saving Ava's life, and I choose to believe him.
Which I'm also thinking is interesting, because he's like, there's no way that's possible. And everyone's like, well, of course he would believe Sonny, or of course he would believe Sonny. And it's like, you know, the person who was supposedly saved is still around, and you can literally just go ask her if that was the case. Especially since she does not like Sonny.
Right.
Why would she lie? It's like, unfortunately, yes, the man did save my life. Or, no, that's not true. He did not save my life. Like, Ava has no reason to lie about Sonny saving her life or not, so just go ask Ava.
Right. So that being said, Gio's still like, yeah, I'm gonna back Sonny all the time, which is fine.
I fear for her. I fear for Gio. Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. I'm gonna skip past that and go to the adoption story.
Interesting, but proceed.
I'm gonna go to the adoption story really, really quickly. We all know, or I believe we all know, that Lulu is writing an article for the Landview Banner about adoption. We also all know that Lulu is looking for any way possible to blow Brooklyn's secret wide open. Now, the story that I skipped over, just to tie it in, just to give you context for what happens next. Lulu witnessed something, took pictures, sent them into the Herald, which ended up being a big story, a really big story. So Tracy, the next morning, is reading the story. She's at the table with Brook Lynn, and she is singing Lulu's praises, and Brook Lynn can't take it, and she blows up at Tracy and storms out of the room, which prompts Chase to go look for Lulu.
Which prompts Chase to go after his wife, have a brief conversation, then go look for Lulu.
Yeah, I'm skipping over unimportant details, in my opinion.
Well, when it comes to Chase and his love for his wife, we can't skip over the love for his wife. Moving on.
I take your point.
As he said, that's my wife.
And we should all be so lucky to have partners in our life who feel that way. It's like, do not. Just don't. Right? So he goes to confront Lulu. Lulu isn't home, but Dante's at Lulu's new place because Lulu moved this week. Or maybe she moved last week. But anyway, Lulu has a home now.
It was last week.
So Chase finds Dante and basically tells Dante, get your ex-wife, wife, lover, whatever she is to you now, just get her. Make her stop. Dante is completely confused, and he's like, I don't understand what the big deal is. Like, I think you're overreacting. And Chase explains that this is a very sensitive issue because Chase is determined not to give up Brooklyn's secret until she's good and ready, which makes sense. Dante's like, I don't know what the issue is, but okay, I will ask her. So when Lulu comes home,
After speaking with her
mother, who
gives her some very good advice of, do not play God
Right?
with these people's lives, especially the child, because you are going to do something, you are on the outside of the box. Whatever happens does not affect you directly. So, stop it.
Yeah. Or in other words, little girl, mind your business. I 100% endorse this message. Complete side note and mini tangent, I didn't know Laura had been switched at birth. That was really interesting to learn. Okay, back on topic. So Lulu comes home. Dante's like, I don't know what's going on, but can you drop this story? Lulu is explaining this is her livelihood. This is her job. She didn't pick the story. And so she's going to write it anyway. She could care less about Brook Lynn's feelings. And then Dante pulls up, but do it for me. And she's like, no, I'm not gonna. Why should I? And Dante goes, because you're in love with me. And Lulu kind of went, yeah.
She's like, yes, I love you. We share a child. He's like, no. You are in. Emphasis on in love with me.
Yeah. Anyway,
Fine, I admit it.
She admits it, but she's still not changing the story. I'm not sure what's going to happen with them. I'm not sure that I care. But Dante admitted at the end of the week, which was the very blah.
It was like, how you end the show like that?
Hanger for the week. Dante admits that he's also in love with her.
How you end the show like that?
Do, right?
Back to Brooklyn.
Back at the Quartermains, Brook Lynn goes to apologize to Tracy for having lost her temper. Tracy says, I don't understand what your problem is with Lulu. This back and forth bickering y'all have been doing since high school is a little bit stupid. And she's like, it's not back and forth bickering. You don't know what's happened. She's like, well, tell me. I can't. Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to present it to you from Lulu's point of view. And they argue some more. And then Brooklyn blurts out that Lulu is kind of blackmailing her or harassing her for having given up a child for adoption when she was a teenager.
And she said it in the most explosive way ever. I was like...
Tracy couldn't have been more stunned. Oh my goodness.
Like, and I know we're still going. But
right?
I love the fact that she stands up, looks at Brooklyn, and is kind of like, and based on the look on Brooklyn's face, which is dead serious, she's like, oh shoot, she's not joking. She's dead serious. Mm-hmm. And then she asks a question, and the next response out of Brooklyn's mouth is, in high school. Dead serious. She's like, she's really not joking.
Yep. And this was one of the best scenes of the week. Well, this once Tracy knew, that whole exchange and interaction between them was one of the best scenes of the week. But short version is that Brook Lynn thought Tracy would be furious. Tracy is not at all furious. Tracy supports her. But if anything, Tracy is devastated that Brook Lynn did not feel she could have told her sooner.
Right.
Brook Lynn does stress that, the father of the child, nor her father, know that she was pregnant. It's really only her
mom,
her mother,
Chase,
Gloria, Chase, and now Lulu. And then she's like, well, how did Lulu find out?
And
like,
technically
Lulu...
Cody, but she didn't tell Cody. Or she didn't tell Tracy that Cody knew.
And yeah, so she wants to know how Lulu knew. And Brooklyn was like, well, she was snooping for information about Charlotte and came across this.
Illegally.
Tracy tried to blame Martin. Brooklyn was like, look, you need to stop. Like, Lulu is in the wrong here.
Right? It's like... Something about, he shouldn't have confidential papers out. It's like, they weren't out. They're away where he doesn't expect someone to go snooping through his things. And I'm with Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. It's not Martin's fault. It's Lulu for being nosy and sticking her nose in places where they should not be.
Well, I blame Martin a little. A very, very, very little. Because why doesn't he have an office? But anyway, we talked about that a few podcasts back.
At least he didn't leave him in a car.
An office and a home. Molly had a point. So then, back to the big story of the week.
Oh, though briefly. This one isn't really something that matters all that
Jen's.
It's very brief.
Okay.
It's not something that really matters all that much, but it's kind of like, what is the point of this?
It's going to come back. We know.
Right? It's... Jen sent the dagger to Alexis's office, and we're just like, ¿Me por qué?
For real. Maybe he thinks she's going to dispose of it again, or maybe it's just to encourage her or to thank her for the fact that they ended up hiring Marco.
I don't know.
That's my only assumption.
To the story of the
big
hour.
Story of the week. Or this hour. Yes. Congressman Cutthroat cut his own throat. inadvertently.
Yes, he did not literally cut his own throat, though some people do wish. No. Congressman Cutthroat has now evolved from Congressman Cutthroat to Congressman Cad.
Yes. So Nina and Portia concocted this plan to drug Drew because they saw Boy with the prostitute last week. So they hired her to drug Drew and to set up a scene at Drew's home that Willow would see when she got home.
But here's the thing.
Unfortunately,
what happened was,
did nobody know Drew was a party animal? Listen, I don't know, didn't care, didn't like him enough to wonder. So when those drugs got in Drew's system, after Jacinda, the prostitute, or the sex worker, the escort, introduced herself to him, he decided he wanted to go party at the Savoy. He wanted to show her a good time. Oh boy, did he ever. Body shots, let's go. And wasn't the Savoy packed up with citizenry and people who were just waiting for Drew to screw up?
So remember how we mentioned how Lulu had caught footage of something and sent it to the Herald?
Whee!
Yeah, that something was Drew taking body shots.
Body shots, party all the time. I mean, he was very nearly dancing on top of the bar. He wasn't really, but...
So many witnesses. Lulu, Cody,
Joss, Jordan, Portia, Curtis,
Marco, Lucas.
Yeah.
Everybody who really could have seen
this. Did I say Jordan?
You said Jordan because Jordan went up there and was like, yo, let's go. This ain't okay.
And he was like, no. Mind your business. I'm here to party.
Shots on me.
Absolutely. It was fantastic. And then, and apparently...
And Portia's like, this could not have played out any better than we
Oh, for real. So then they went home. Mm-hmm. They, being Jacinda and Drew, went back to Drew's place. Where Drew passed out, Jacinda set the scene as she said she would. Willow came home, walked to the door, found a stiletto, and was like, this shoe don't look like mine. Why? And I don't... Huh?
Thank God she didn't look under the couch.
So she kept going to the bedroom because, well, that first hint wasn't enough. She walked into the bedroom. Drew's passed out in the bed. And, a trail of clothes because how else would one set the scene? And then Jacinda walks out of the bathroom in Drew's shirt. And she goes... Wait, maybe
don't you know how to knock?
I was going to, maybe I should say that for make it sassy.
It's like, didn't your mother teach you to knock?
And Willow's just like, excuse me, this is my room. And she's like, oh, I didn't think you were coming home. Can I have my shoe, please? And off she goes. And she goes off to Nina's where she gets paid. She and Portia are there. Nina and Portia are there. And so, yes, she gets paid and she high-foots it out of town. And I will leave other details for our categories. So then, at the end of Willow is livid. Oh yeah. My goodness, she's broken.
Willow is pissed, heartbroken, and
shows up at Nina's.
She's telling Nina everything's going on, and Nina says something. It's like, well, yada yada, and Willow's
betrayal,
like,
and she's
right,
like,
and Willow's like, how the heck do you know? And it's like, it's all over the internet. Proceeds to show her the article, and she's like, nope, everybody knows, and chit chatting away. Here comes Drew banging on freaking doors like he's the police.
Yep.
And finally, and I'm still like, Willow, why'd you do this? She opens the door so Drew can explain.
Ultimately, Drew convinces her to go to the hospital to get a test because he's like, that's not me. I had to have been drugged or something. Willow agrees to go. Nina is dismayed. Nina... And I'm going to get to this later, but you totally missed a trick. I'm so cross with you, it's not even funny.
Technically, the writers missed a trick, not even Nina.
No, I'm sure they did it on purpose because there's something else to come. But for right now,
yeah, unfortunately, that's going to affect the wrong one.
So, off they go to the hospital where he gets his blood tested, and Isaiah tells him, yeah, you have ketamine in your system. And he's like, see, it's proof. I didn't do this. I didn't intentionally get drunk. I would never betray you. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure drugs don't make you do something you wouldn't have done otherwise.
No,
I could be wrong. I know it loosens your inhibition, so maybe I
Yeah, but with him also being drunk, and because he took the ketamine in alcohol, so it came off that he was more drunk than drugged. So really, and technically, and as we know, a drunk man's thoughts are a sober man's words. So I'll take it, and so I was gonna say a drunk man's actions are a sober man's.
Well, I think that's probably more accurate, is that a drunk man's words are a sober man's thoughts. Because you'll keep it in your head, you won't actually say it.
Fair enough. But the fact that he...
And that's where I'm going, is that if he didn't have that in him somewhere...
He wouldn't have done it?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Which is why I was going to lead to my next point.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, people, we're done with the recap. Screw the recap. Because really, I'm like, no.
Well, there's a little bit more, but I guess we'll just drag it and we'll bring it up. Yeah, go.
But anyway, it's like, if, again, with your words of actions, and if he didn't have it in him, he would have done it. Because I'm sitting there like, no, for real. Because Jacinda sat down at the table at the restaurant and said, I saw you from across the room, yada, 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 let's get out of here. And he had a look on his face like, sure, why not? And I'm like, that's, sure, the ketamine kind of kicked in a little bit, but really it was more like, whoa, this is a strong drink. Like, he felt it hitting, but he wasn't completely inebriated at that point.
No, exactly.
So I'm like, you looked at that woman like, I'm like, Drew, the look in your eyes was, I'm taking this girl's clothes off. You were basically undressing her with your eyes. You were, like, if it wasn't for the fact you were in a public place, I think you would have jumped that table.
Oh, you saw more than I saw.
Like,
but then again...
But you also wouldn't have laughed.
Especially for you, who's not interested in Drew. You're like, that man, so how you would look deep into his eyes to see into his soul.
I read. Anyway, the point is also like, you could have said... Like, she comes to sit down at your table because it's like, what can I do for you as your congressman? You are my constituent. And she's like, want to get out of here? Because clearly she's flirting with you. And rather than saying, I'm flattered, but I have a girlfriend, you up and head to the club.
That's what I'm saying.
So, and I'm like, Willow, you're not even, like, it bugs me because she's not even, like, she doesn't know this happened because obviously not, but not even, like, thinking about, like, yes, he might have been drugged because, like, how do you get ketamine in your system? It's like, you don't remember the night. You don't know what you did. Like, sure, the last person you sat with was Tracy, which is... Well,
yeah, see? So talk about bringing out the story.
I know, that's good. But also, it's like, I'm trying to figure out how... Like, you have no proof that Tracy drugged you.
No, but that's the last thing he remembers.
I know, but I'm like, how would she have done it, though?
He didn't say she drugged him. He answered the question because basically...
Mac.
While at the hospital, Drew saw Mac and decided he was going to report the crime of having been drugged. He goes to Mac, and Mac, like, the question Mac asked him was, "Who was the last person you remember being with?"
Right, because I'm like, ketamine's a recreational drug,
right? And the last person he would remember having been with
is Tracy,
and
not Jacinda.
And the reason for that, in case you missed the episode, Jacinda was sitting at the bar when the waiter came to fill Drew's drink, and then the waiter said to the bartender, make it your top shelf, whatever, whiskey, bourbon, whatever it was he had ordered, because it's for the congressman. So Jacinda was like, jackpot. So the bartender made the drink, put it on the bar, turned his back, Jacinda put the drugs in the drink, and then the waiter carried the drink over to
Tracy. Sorry, over to Drew and Tracy.
Right, who was sitting with Tracy.
Right.
Jacinda was nowhere in that mathematics.
Right. What I find interesting, though, is, again, how are you supposed to tie this in? How is Drew going to come to the conclusion that Tracy's the one who drugged him? Because I'm like...
He didn't come to that conclusion.
No, it's implied he's coming to that conclusion.
Yes.
Because that's the last thing he remembers.
Yes.
And knowing Tracy, especially with the I want the Quartermain name and yada yada,
100%. Tracy's going to take the fall.
Yes,
no question.
Exactly. But the question is, how do you prove that? Because Tracy, aside from the drink being put on the table, was nowhere near the drink.
Not for us to prove.
So
it is not for us to prove.
I know it's not for us to prove, but you know how I am, and you know how I try to solve these things, and like,
yes,
how can you prove this?
You want to know how is this going to play out,
right? Yeah. How can this possibly, like, what are the paths that can go? So I'm like, Mac is like, honestly, Mac should be like, okay, we'll investigate, but honestly, you barely remember the night, there's no way to prove that Tracy was the one who drugged you. And she is as rich as she is. There's no way to prove it.
And no way for her to prove that she didn't.
So really, absolutely, this can't go anywhere.
If that's real, well, it's not that it can't go anywhere.
It's like he can press charges.
Circumstantial evidence.
He can press charges.
And she has motive.
She has motive, and he can press charges, but without. So he can press charges, but really, without any actual evidence to prove. Without a paper trail, without her actually any witnesses, without anything whatsoever at all, there's this whole thing can't go anywhere.
I think that it can. I think it does have legs. I don't think she'll get convicted, but absolutely, because there's absolutely motive. What with the whole battle over the crypt,
okay,
and the Quartermain name, so she has motive for sabotaging him.
Yes,
she came out of nowhere to make this truce
against Sunny,
right? And he was kind of like, what's this about? But then thought it was a good deal. So it could have been a setup. Like there's an argument to be made. Right. That she did it.
Right, which I'm not disputing, which is why I'm saying, I'm like, all this, yes, it makes sense. Sure, you can get her charged and everything.
Yeah.
And you can get her in front of a judge. But the point is,
can you secure a conviction?
Right, like the ADA is like, it kind of sort of in the Jason situation, which also falls back into drop storylines because of the whole Cyrus thing. But it's like the ADA, sure, they're the one who has to pursue charges, but if they don't have sufficient evidence, if you just have here's the results to prove that I was drugged, well, more so to show that there's ketamine in my system and I know I didn't take it, so technically to prove that you were drugged, sure you have the motive, sure you have the means, I guess, because you're in the restaurant and whatever, but if there's no actual proof, in this case, I don't see it.
People have gone to jail for 40 years for less.
I still don't.
But,
because also you have to think about, like, prior stuff. It's like, has Tracy ever done anything?
Yes, she framed Alexis. I'm telling you, Tracy's in a bit of trouble right now. Will she get convicted? I don't know, but she is in a bit of trouble.
That I agree.
So, that being all said,
let's go to the categories, because...
Yes. All right. Do you want to start with comedy moment of the week, or do you want to leave that for last?
No, do not, because I have so much more to say on certain characters.
All right. Well, then pick the category you want to go to.
Okay, so comedy moment of the week, for me, Drew falling down the stairs as he entered the Savoy. Because the man was just so inebriated. He hit one stair, the heel of his foot slipped, and he went tumbling. Which led everyone to be like, what the?
Yep,
and the scene began.
Yep. Absolutely. I think I also want to throw in there Carly showing up at Nina's at the end of the week. Carly arrives back home from LA. I assume she's seen the internet because she's at Nina's door. Nina opens the door. Nina is visibly upset. And Carly's like, is Willow here? No, she's not here. And then Carly comes right in. Way to go, Nina. This is amazing. And Nina's like, what? And she's like, come on, Nina, don't play. We know this is you. And Nina's like, well, yes. I thought that was just funny, the pause, the momentary pause, but also the good sense of it all. It's like, before I start in, because maybe I got to take a different approach, Right. So, but that made me laugh. Carly was just giddy.
I will say, though, like, read the room. These people still don't read the room, because, like, yes, Nina opens the door and she's not whatever, but it's still kind of like, I get you're in your excitement and in your joy, but also it's like, it's, as Nina explained later, it's like, this plan, like, it was supposed to go one way, but, seeing my child show up at my house in tears, it still broke my heart. Mm-hmm. So,
Agreed. Yeah.
Next segment, what had me hot? What had you hot, Mom? Or maybe I should go on mine because...
No, I'm gonna start with mine. Nina not calling Portia. What the heck? Now, clearly this is going to play out, right, I guess because we want to get Tracy in trouble and whatever. But really and truly, like, maybe, couldn't we have had her try to call Portia and didn't get through? Like, some kind of effort. Because Portia works at a hospital. Portia has the drugs. Portia has access to the lab to fudge the results. You couldn't give her a heads up that Drew was on the way? Nina! Just try. So that would also qualify almost as my Mech Saints.
That's fair.
Yeah, that was number one. Do you want to jump in with yours, or shall I continue with my number two?
Continue, because I have two. I didn't read the second one, but I just remembered it. But go on.
Number two, Lulu. Just everything Lulu. I don't know that I really want to say anything more.
That's fine.
Just Lulu.
That's fine. So my what had me hot, one being Vaughn.
Because he was running around shirtless this week?
No, actually. Because because the man is telling Joss, like, you need to get closer to Dalton, you need to do this, you need to do that. And I'm like, I'm like, okay, clearly you dropped out of school early because you just don't get it. You want her to do all these things, and you're like, you need to do this now. It's like, last time I checked, you didn't tell her we're on a schedule and we have to get this done by, May 3rd. Like, as an example, like, you want her to become his research assistant. In order for her to do that, she has to catch up in her classes to understand what he's talking about, and then impress him enough to, actually do the work needed and have him choose her. It's not a snap your fingers and lo and behold, she's the assistant. It's like she actually has to put in the work. She actually has to be a college student for this assignment.
Yep.
And you constantly telling her, it's like, hurry up, Jax, put on the pressure. It's like, it's not going to get the job done quicker. Do you want it done right or do you want it done fast? Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. So just every time Vaughn just like, come on, Jax, are you up for this assignment? It's like, dude, shut up for a minute and let her actually do what she needs to do. So there was that.
Okay.
The second thing was Amy. Amy was so out of pocket.
Hey.
So Willow is at the hospital with Drew. Drew's getting his blood work done to figure out if he was drugged or not. And Amy, with her nosy, rumor, self, is chit-chatting with this one guy who's either a doctor or nurse or whatever, and they're discussing everything going on with Willow and Drew, and they're like, oh my god, I can't believe she showed up with him. Do you think she's going to stay with him? I hope not. And then just gabbing. Then later, Amy walks up to Willow and is like, Willow, I just want you to know that everyone here thinks you're so brave. And I'm just like, oh dear God. But I'm like, but all she says, like, also, we're, like, girl to girl. You're not going to stay with him, are you? Like, I'm with Willow. That's none of your business. Like, whatsoever. I agree she should leave him for multiple different reasons, aside from the one of him doing body shots off an escort. But aside from that, it's like, that's none of your business. Like, you're like, everyone knows you are the hospital gossip, Amy. It's not a secret. So Willow obviously knows what you're trying to do. Like, I'm with Willow. Stop gossiping, start nursing. Like, no. And I'm like, this at this point, I'm like, you are such a gossip. You might as well just join. You might as well go work at the Invader for Mr. I know he got fired. I know he got fired, but yeah, I know the man got fired. But you might as well go find Adrian and work with him because, like, I know you're not Ned Flanders anymore, but Ted Landers, whatever his name was, the gossip columnist, the romance writer, whatever.
Ann Landers?
Thank you. I was like,
Ted Landers from The Simpsons?
I thought that. I'm like, that doesn't sound right. I'm pretty sure that's the Simpsons character. But I still went with it anyway, and I thought of that last night. Moving on. Either way, like, go back to doing that because sure, you might be a great nurse, but...
Right, she had that book that she wrote too, right?
I don't know. I just knew
Remember she wrote that book?
I don't know if she wrote the book. I just know she was
It was
ready.
a gossipy book.
Either way, it's like, you clearly have a talent. You know what? You and Shanice from Beyond the Gates need to link up, man. Y'all need to get your exchange numbers.
I hear what you're saying. Oh, you have more.
You know what? I think that's who Shanice talks to on the phone. She's talking to Amy.
Well, they're both nurses.
That's my point. Switching up the information. You in DC, I'm in New York. Here's the gossip going on in our towns.
But what I liked about that, as fans of GH from years past, and as you know, I don't think it's any coincidence that the two nurses are named Amy, but it was very interesting, and I thought entertaining that Amy was in there with all this gossip, which was, for me, a direct throwback to Amy Vining, which tied into Laura's reference to the Vinings this week, because Amy, back in the day, was a nurse at the nurse station, and boy, a fly couldn't lose its wing without Amy running and telling everybody. So
Amy is the fly on the wall.
I mean, really and truly. So I thought that was a nice callback. I don't know if it was intentional, but I thought it was really cool. Anything else you want to add in there?
Very briefly, and I actually don't even remember what day it was, but it was when Portia, and it's not even that thing that had me hot, but it's still like, that was uncalled for. But it's when Portia told Brad to get the ketamine, and he got the ketamine, and then she made the comment about him needing to suck it up or whatever. And I was just like, okay, just because he's gay does not mean you need to make that comment.
Yeah, that was just...
That was out of pocket, out of line, out of left field. That was everything left.
Yeah, he said something blows, and she's like, suck it up, or whatever it was.
It's like, get used to it, or you're used to that, or whatever. And it was just like, lady.
Yep. Not cool.
No. Next segment that we have, as usual, is what do you do that for? Who called for that?
Lulu. Everything Lulu. I don't want to say anymore.
No, that's fine. Because really.
Just, get off my screen.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything. No.
Okay.
Oh, I am going to go back to what had me hot very quickly.
Uh-huh.
Sorry. No, I'm mad at Joss, too. Because how is it you at the college beach party, you see Danny, and you're like, you didn't see me, I see you. Deal. And move along. It's like...
Because she's up there doing shady business.
I'm like, that is your mother's best friend's son, and you're like, he's at a college party, I'm minding my business? Are you insane? And I'm betting, if she had seen Rocco, how that would have turned out.
Rocco might have been a different story, but she knows Danny's a little bit wild.
Either way.
Yeah.
Either way. I was really counting on Joss. I'm like, you better hope Joss doesn't see you, because Joss going to call you right out. And Joss didn't call him out. I said, I'm going to strangle this girl's neck.
She's working.
I don't care. I'm like, I could be working. If I see a minor at a college party drinking his butt off, I'm calling it out.
He was drinking. He wasn't drinking when she saw him.
I don't care. If I see someone who I know is specifically a minor hanging around college kids, and I know the college kids be drinking, I'm calling it out.
Okay.
I did also think the crime that was going to be reported to Mac was the boys at the party. I didn't think it was going to be Drew, so that also had me mad. But
from the little blurb of what the episode was about.
Yeah, it's like Mac gets pulled into a crime or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. Anyway, moving on.
Yes.
Make it make sense.
I don't really have a lot on this. It's just Brick calling the WSB.
Huh?
Like, of all the people he was going to call, I did not expect that.
No one did.
And they did explain it in this episode, but it threw me off. I was like, really, Brick? Okay. So that was a little bit random.
It was. All right. Moving on to Villain of the Week. Do you have one?
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, my villain...
Lulu. Everything Lulu.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I was slightly interrupted, my villain of the week is Danny Morgan for taking his brother to a college party when he was clearly uncomfortable with going to said college party. Tried to convince Danny not to go to said college party, but still ended up going to said college party. And then getting grog, which is a punch with heavy amounts of alcohol. And poor Rocco.
How do you know how heavy it was?
I saw how much they poured into that vat. It wasn't just punch.
Okay. Well, I know it wasn't just punch.
It's college kids.
No, it's all good. If you saw them pouring, I did not see them pouring.
They were pouring.
Okay.
So, yeah, Rocco was clearly uncomfortable. He's like, I'm not going to drink this. And then they get hit on by two college girls. I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh goodness. I'm like, the second they realize they're minors, the girls are going to freak out. But anyway, and Rocco, in his nervousness, actually drinks it. And Danny does not even... If he noticed, he didn't care. He was like, my brother, and moved on. And eventually lost track of him. He's like, I'm going to go play glow-in-the-dark volleyball with these girls.
Rocco said he didn't want to go.
No, that's fine. But goes off to play glow-in-the-dark volleyball, eventually finishes playing because he comes back and is at the beer pong table and doesn't think, hey, where'd Rocco go?
I thought Rocco was the one that went and played beer pong.
No, they offered, he's like, no, I'm good. Or he's like, yeah, sure. But then
I don't remember Danny coming back to the beer pong.
When he ran into Joss, that's when he went to the beer pong table. Because he turned around and was like, okay, and went to the beer pong table, which is right there.
Huh.
And then
I really stopped paying attention.
And Rocco was off wherever Rocco was, and next you know, we find Rocco passed out somewhere on the beach.
Because I thought after he drank off his grog, Danny's grog, and then went to play beer pong.
Well, here's the thing. He drank his grog, Danny's grog, and then got a beer. So the boy is heavily drunk.
Sure.
And passed out somewhere on the beach.
Okay, but don't chicken neck at me. I didn't give him a drink.
I'm so freaking pissed because I'm like, one, I want Danny to be scared. I want Danny to realize he lost Rocco and start freaking the hell out.
I'm sure he will. We saw how when I saw him see Joss and the way he looked at her, I was like,
I want.
Is he? Because his eyes looked so glazed. It didn't look like, oh shoot, to me. It looked like I am so high.
I'm like, I don't. And the funny thing is, it's like, okay, Joss didn't do anything. Geo, have Geo catch their behinds. Please have Geo catch them.
That is much more likely.
I want Geo to... I like... And wouldn't it be interesting if Geo is the one who finds Rocco passed out on the beach, which I think is more likely to happen.
Yes.
And then be like... And then realize he's been drinking, and then...
Yeah, because I think Geo's more sensible, and then he'll pull in Joss or something like that.
Right. And also that
or
will...
Emma. But...
And that will also include some nice brotherly help. They don't realize it yet, but this brotherly love. So, there's that. Rocco and Geo are half-siblings, so, you know... The bonding.
Oh, Rocco and Geo. Yeah. Okay.
Either way, once parents find out, cuss out of a lifetime.
Hey, listen.
So,
you know, that's what dose of reality.
That is who the villain of the week is this week.
Okay, you know, for something that we thought was gonna be really meh, we have a lot to say, huh? I'm glad we're wrapping it up. I'm tired of talking about these people now. Hero of the week,
Tracy and Laura. Tracy for her understanding and just really heartfelt talk with Brook Lynn. Mm-hmm. And then Laura for hopefully, but apparently not enough, talking some sense to Lulu and like, don't play God. You're not, like, just stop. You are in a position with information that will not affect you directly. Just leave it. Clearly didn't work, as proven by Dante's conversation with Lulu. But, you know... But at least, so for Laura, it's more so trying to get Lulu to leave things alone. But it's mainly Tracy for me this week.
Okay. For me, I'm going to give it to Brick. Because Brick was just so smooth with it.
My man pulled that gun up so slow.
So smooth, though. It's not even like he was facing her straight on. My man was angled, just looking like, hey, what's up, chickie? But who are you? And then from where he pulled that gun, because
it didn't go higher than his waist either.
He was just so smooth.
The gun didn't go higher than his waist, and he took 2 shots. My girl whipped around like she was in a freaking shootout with in the Western movies. It's like 1, 2, 3, draw, and it's like that's how quick my girl was when she turned around to grab her ID, air quotes, which is really the gun, and like turn and like her gun was up and ready, and Brick just ever so in slow motion, like he had all the time in the world.
Yeah,
pew pew.
Exactly. Like I'm assuming it's camera tricks that made it look so smooth, but golly, I just love that. I am also going to give Hero of the Week to Alexis for just seeing what's happening in the press and like, I'm going to get my granddaughter. I'm not even businessing with you. And she showed up at Drew's house. Drew was completely confused. Oh, which reminds me of something that I did find very funny. But anyways, Drew was completely confused. And she's like, listen, you were doing dirt. I'm taking the child and protecting her. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. If I must explain, this is what you did. And, like, she doesn't lose her temper. She doesn't raise her voice. She just keeps repeating, this is what I'm doing. I'm protecting your child from yourself. And, you know, and mustard seed of kudos to Drew for, like, acknowledging, yeah, that's probably for the best. That just reminds me of a comedy moment that I completely forgot about was when Drew was looking for his phone. He hears his phone buzzing.
I did say, it was a good thing she didn't look under the couch.
And reaches under the couch and finds this brassiere.
Because I swear to God, I say swear to God, but it's like, at least she found the shoe, because if she found the bra...
Oh, for real?
It's like, you're already like...
Right?
You're confused, because you're like, what the...
This ain't my shoe.
Right? You're like, did he buy me new shoe? What? But why would it... Like, you're questioning so many things. The bra... The bra would have left you no doubt. The bra would have been like, oh, hell no.
Everybody watching know that Willow don't wear no bright red bra.
Also, her chest ain't that big to fit that bra.
Listen, I don't know about all of that. I wasn't paying that much attention.
And okay. I wasn't paying that much attention either. It was more in the sense of, you see Willow on screen, you see how when she's wearing her nurse's outfit, and then the size is like, nope.
I really didn't look at either woman that way. I couldn't tell you.
Either way, my girl couldn't fit that bra.
Okay, if you say so.
All right. The Kizaka of the week. Or as we like to call it, the Lulu. And in this case, we're going to take out the dub because we know who the...
Guess who?
Because it's simple.
Lulu.
Right.
Everything Lulu.
And that's mom's.
Now I will be so brave as to explain what my problem is with Lulu.
All right.
I mean, not that y'all didn't figure it out already, but come on. Lulu is just looking for every excuse to blow the secret wide open. She talking to everybody, trying to get a reason to justify her need to tell Dante about this child. Now, to your point earlier about Laura's speech being ineffective, I think it was. I think Lulu was actually listening to Laura where Laura said, don't play God in people's lives.
Okay.
And mind your business.
Okay.
But Lulu does not like to be told what to do. And I think when she spoke to Dante after that, she got her back up. That's what I think happened. But anyway, but just Lulu, man, like, you know, even her. Well, since I know the secret, isn't it now my secret to tell?
No! Sorry.
No, but that's basically Laura's reaction.
I meant to the people's, because that was a shout.
It was a shout. But that was basically Laura's reaction. Like, have you lost your mind? So, yeah. Just
it's like, Lulu. Just because you know the secret doesn't mean it's your secret to tell. It's like, if my best friend tells me a secret, I'm not going to go and be town crying. I'm like, hey, everybody, here's what I just learned about my best friend. It's like, no, you're not going to go spill a secret. It's like, if Maxie told you a secret, are you going to go spill Maxie's secret? Just because you don't like Brook Lynn does not mean you got to go spill her secret.
Ooh. Which, I might put Brook Lynn on the villain list.
I know why. I didn't want to, because I'm like...
I don't want to, but I felt like, it. I felt it.
That was wrong.
Brook Lynn told Maxie to choose a side. She's like, I know you're friends with Lulu. I know you're friends with me, but now really things between me and Lulu have gotten to a point you have to pick sides, otherwise I'm not telling you what the problem is between me and Lulu.
And the thing that makes it really worse is Maxie's like, she's my best friend, and she's like, I know that, but this is something. It's like
gone all out of proportions, and you have to choose sides.
It's like how about I don't pick one?
Yeah,
it's like I'll just stay out of it.
Yeah, I don't need to know your secret.
It's like the secret's gonna come out, and I'm gonna be like, Lulu, if you're the one who released the secret, that was wrong. That was like you are not the Lulu I remember. It's like the Lulu I know would not dish out someone else's dirt just because they have beef with them. Yep. The Lulu I know wouldn't dish out someone's dirt even if they did have beef with them.
You know what? It's probably a good thing that Brooklyn's drawing that line, because Maxie may not keep the secret either, given that she went and told Dante that Lulu was in love with him. So, might be a good thing. Might be a good thing.
Right, but I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to see the difference between that, but...
There's a difference, there's a nuance, but yeah, it's like not life-changing, I don't think.
Right, it's like me telling you that this woman is in love, or still in love with you, does not affect the lives of 30 million, or I say 30 million, but... It's like, it does not... It does not affect the lives of so many people. It affects you and her. That's it. It doesn't affect Brook Lynn, her parents, her child, her marriage. Like,
the repercussions are less severe.
That's why I'm like, I don't think Maxie would.
Yeah.
My the Lulu of the week.
You have one?
Yes, if you're finished with yours.
Yes.
Is Christina. Right. Because I'm like, because when you went, you keep going. You keep freaking going to Lucky and saying, I can't live with the guilt. And it's like, okay, then turn yourself in. It's like, no, I don't want to do that because that's going to... It's like, okay, then live with the guilt. It's one or the other. But then she's like, no, I can do it. It's like, okay, you're delusional if you think that because you're going to come back again. But then, you find out your mom wants to have you committed and you can't think of possibly, I don't know, 5 good reasons as to why she might have wanted to do that. And then when she lays down or tries to lay down, that she knows you have not been stable and have been doing some pretty idiotic things in the past few days.
She didn't say few days. She just said in the past.
Well, still, it's like you don't clue in that maybe she might know. And even then, you end up going to your baby's grave and like step by step do you lay out, like you literally talk through the logic of your mom, why she would do it, and it's like maybe you have lost your mind and need help or whatever, and nothing clicks. It's like, oh shoot,
because simply because, and they said it over and over again, these things are in the past. These were months ago. These were weeks ago. It was ages ago. She does not make the connection that Alexis knows what happened last week or whatever that distance of time is, and that's the only reason why she can't make that connection. If it even remotely occurred to her that Alexis might know, then that's a different story. But she has not at all clued in. Like you said, she was not catching Alexis's hints.
No, this girl just...
So, yeah.
Chancla.
Make it sassy.
This is... Okay, it's technically both of ours.
Jacinda's fantastic.
Jacinda was getting her money from Portia and Nina. And they're like, okay, so you're going to take your money, you're going to disappear, you're not going to go on the web, you're not going to do anything, you're going to be off the grid. In Australia. They're like, yes. And if someone does find you, if someone finds me, I'll tell them the truth. Both their faces went so pale. They're like, And then she said that Drew solicited my services, and we had a good time. And then the color returned to their faces, and they let out a sigh of relief. She's like, I had to go in there, didn't I? And I was like, you had everybody go in there, Jacinda.
Absolutely. All right. Heart pull of the week.
Tracy in Brooklyn. What? What?
Yes, Tracy in Brooklyn, yes.
Yeah, Tracy in Brooklyn. Oh, were you trying to tell me it's one word?
No.
Oh, well, I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah, Tracy in Brooklyn, because I was watching them. Every time their scene came up, I had to take deep breaths because I was ready to cry. And I didn't want to cry because I was having a massive headache that night. And I was like, don't cry. This is going to be worse. Don't cry. But, oh my goodness, I've never seen Tracy. Like, Tracy has had her moments where she's, like, just sweet and understanding. But this, oh my goodness, this was a whole other side to Tracy that I've never seen before. And it just, oh my goodness. And what really solidified it for me at the end was not even like the ending of their conversation and her asking like, are you sure like you made the right choice and everything. It was when Lois came into the room and I was a little worried that Tracy was gonna kind of
blast her
a little bit, because like, how dare you not tell me my grandchild is pregnant. No, it was just like, I want to know about my great grandson. Like,
yeah, where is he?
Like, just the heartbreak in her voice and her constantly needing to like take a breath. And just, like, the shakiness in her voice. Like, all of that.
Yep.
Like, the actress who played Tracy did a beautiful job in that moment.
Jane Elliott. Yeah.
Beautiful job.
Absolutely.
I'd give her a daytime Emmy for that scene.
I would, too. All right. I think that's about... Oh, well, no. Actually, just before we go... where I thought this was going to be super short, it's a lot longer. But just some things that we're tracking on our drop storyline follow-up list. So things that we're more likely to get answers to anyways, I hope. Or more pertinent to current storylines. Who's handling Willow's divorce with Martin out of town? What we talked about this last time. What's happening with Martin and Callie and his alimony case? I'm curious, because I was listening to a podcast from back in February. Whatever happened with the investigation into Michael that Elaine was handling before she got hit by the car? Chasing after Mavis.
Also, where is Mavis? Last I heard, Sasha was looking after her, but,
Oh, right. True. We still don't know, and I don't know that we'll get an answer to this, but we still don't know who sent the gun to Ava after Austin was killed. And then what's happening with the charges against Jason for Cyrus's murder? Is the ADA not pursuing those anymore since she's all up in Anna's grill? And how long will Joss keep the secret that she murdered Cyrus?
For the rest of her life.
I don't know.
She's a WSP agent. She's keeping that for the rest of her life.
Oh, you think she can hold it now? I don't know. I'm not convinced, but that's the question I have. Or will Jack end up holding it over her head for something?
And I'm like, you do that, you ruin your relationship with Carly. Then again, your relationship with Carly's already doomed since you got her child in the WSB. So.
Oh, Jack. I thought you were talking about Joss. I'm like, that's her mother. Her mother will forgive her eventually. But yeah, okay. So those are the things that I'm curious about today. All right. Well, so with that's a wrap.
On this episode of GH's edition of Soaps and Sass.
Yeah, so come back next week where we'll give you a little more soap. Hopefully a lot more soap, because it's May Sweeps GH. Pick it up.
And a hell of a lot of sass.
Take care, y'all.
Bye.